Hello, this is Amy with Mommy Scrapping, and welcome back to my channel. I want to thank Christina for inviting me to participate in the Inspired by the Magic of Disney YouTube Hop. I have some photos of my daughter here and my husband riding, I don't remember what they're called. They're some type of vehicle from Star Wars. I can't remember. I'm not the big Star Wars fan like those two are. And in looking at it and looking at the background, the backdrop of the photos, I thought this vine paper from Head in the Clouds by Chamel would be absolutely perfect. Um, and I went ahead and pulled out that sheet and then pulled out some things from Sparkle City. The combination of the two work really well. I have this pine twig, pine bough paper, which obviously is part of her collection, so it matches beautifully. I trimmed the edges of the photos off just so I would have, they'd be touching each other at the center, but you would still get a little bit more of that pine border around the edge. Now, most of this is with the individual sheets. The green piece of paper that you see right under my ATG there is actually from the Sparkle City project pad. Now, I have had these Bow Bunny trims for, I really couldn't tell you how long. I do know that the date on them is 2010, and I could have very easily bought them back in 2010. So they've been in my stash for quite a while. And the dark blue I thought would add some nice texture. I was originally just going to add one along the bottom, but then decided that I really did like the look of the two of them. However, I felt like it got a little bit lost. So I decided I'm going to mat the photos again on this green paper and have the strips wide enough that you can, I'm actually going to put those fabric pieces, trim pieces, I guess you call them, on top of it. They're not exactly 12 by 12, which honestly I was a little disappointed at. I was hoping that they would go to the very edge. I'd be able to kind of glue the ends down to the edge and be done with it. But it ends up they aren't quite perfect. Maybe I could have stretched it, but using liquid glue on it, I didn't want to chance things then kind of shrinking back up a little bit and then being very uneven. So I was setting those aside as I grabbed some of this beautiful white paper with the aqua stripes. I think this added a nice bit of brightness because up until now, that green paper is the bright green paper is the brightest color. Unfortunately, I'm realizing though it's not going to quite work, and I need something else in there because it feels too isolated. So I'll go and pull my 12 by 12 or 6 by 8 pads of Chamel, and I look through Sparkle City first, and that one there will work, but I don't like that it's got the purple. I think my husband would have killed me had I put purple on his Star Wars layout. But I did find this radial grid. Now, I'm not much into the radial grids. However, for Star Wars, it somehow felt like it worked a lot better. I don't know, maybe that's kind of like radar type thing. But I do like how that looks. I feel, though, like it's a little short. And so I'm cutting it. You really can't tell much with the aqua stripes. I think with the radial grid, I am putting it on crooked and then realizing, wait a second, this isn't going to work. I think with the radial grid, you can tell like geometry wise because the lines won't match up. That's not how circles work. But there's also so much going on and so little of it actually shows at that bottom strip that it becomes something that's not as noticeable. Now that star paper I just set aside, I had pulled out. I was going to use the blue and the green sections of the stars. But once I added that blue radial grid, I thought that I didn't need any more. I thought the stars would be fine, or was fine without the stars. I'm using my art glitter glue to put the fabric pieces on. A while ago, I probably would have put them on with glue dots, which would have worked just fine. However, I am using this glue more and more. It is amazing stuff, and I love the little fine tip. And I find uses for that little pin at the top for so many things. So it smears a little bit, but what I love about it is that it dries clear. So I'm actually, as I'm doing the voiceover, looking at my finished layout. And if you look for the glue, you will see it. But just glancing at it, it's not something that you notice. And I think once it gets into the page protector, it will be even better. I went back and forth on what I should use as a title. And what I found I really like, I love these thickers from Chamel's collection. I think these were from Sparkle City, if I'm not mistaken. And I was going to use See the World just because, they're biking. And then I was like, no, I want to use Go Big because, this is a big trip. It was Elizabeth's birthday trip. This is the only day we spent at Hollywood Studios at Disney. And then I was like, saving the day works even better. So putting the loop for the Y over the fabric, I feel like pulled everything kind of together a little bit and joined it all up. And I love the fact that it's holographic. I end up adding some more touches of holo in there. My plan was to add some of the holographic stars and circles in my clusters, and then once I started pulling out like the stickers and everything, I completely forgot about them, so they never made it back onto the layout. But I'm going through a lot of the Sparkle City embellishments. A lot of that I found really worked so well. It matches, of course, the Head in the Clouds paper, but just the feeling of it, even though it's kind of like retro looking stuff, I don't know, it just felt like it worked so well. Now these die cuts I pull out, I really wanted to see if I could I would love to have used the postcard there. That would have been amazing. And so I decided I was going to try to use the lenticular globe, which says See the World, since I didn't use that as the title. That unfortunately does not end up making it up there. I'm going to end up putting that You've Got This Reb-On, which I need to use these Reb-Ons. Unfortunately, they are starting to dry out, so they need to get used. The stickers I've got out right there are Bella Boulevard ones. They're the little bits from Family Frenzy. And then I also pull out my stickers from Bella Boulevard for Making the Team. I got those in a Bella Boulevard warehouse box, and I have not used them. They're from 2011. So it's time that I start either using it or giving it to somebody or, tossing it out. I have these stickers from Amy Tan. I think these are from... I don't even remember. I'm looking at them right now. And stuff's sticking together. I don't remember what collection this was from. +1. There we go. It's written on the typewriter at the bottom. So I've got some words that I pull from there that will match in the greens and the blues. And so I'm kind of pulling together that color palette, and I'm keeping within the blues, the teal, the blues, the greens, and the aquas, because that together just matches perfectly. And there's enough with these designers that fall into that color scheme that it works very well. So I cut apart the You've Got This because they were centered, and cutting it apart let me put it as right justified so it fit with the little blue radial paper. That way it doesn't the word you've would have overlapped the aqua and the corner of the blue, which I felt looked awkward. Now they're not on there perfectly. Again, I think that's something somebody would notice who actually kind of knows what they're doing in the scrapbooking world. I think anybody outside is going to see that and then not really think much of it. It'll be like, oh no, that's what it's supposed to look like. So I've put down 2 of the stickers. The globe on the right says Adventure. The square next to Saving the Day says So Much Fun. And then I pulled out some of these embossed puffy stickers from Sparkle City. I love these signs, and I've not been able to incorporate them yet. So the one at the bottom says Have Fun, and I have laid it on top of the blue trim, which was great, but it's not going to stick well to the blue trim. So I put some of the foam dots underneath it, and that kind of helps it to stick permanently, I guess, or as permanent as it can be, but also raise that bottom part up so it doesn't stick awkwardly. The arrow at the top by the globe says "You've got this," which I do end up putting something that says either "You've got this" or "You got this" in each of my embellishment clusters, which you will see. That black dot right there says "You got this." And that is from the Making the Team Bella Boulevard. So is the number 1 that I just put at the bottom. And then that green circle is from the Family Frenzy stickers, and that just says "Us." I've got a lot of the word strips, and I'm kind of separating them so I end up with different colors in each. So I've got the holographic one at the bottom that says "Just go for it." And so I want to make sure I've got some holographic in each of the sections. There's not as much in the top right one, and the top left one only has one word, but it's got the title there, so I'm okay with that. That smaller one is holographic on navy. It says "Live." Putting that number 1 back in there to make sure it fits, everything fits together. And then I also added the aqua one, "Happiness." Now, what I'm trimming off is the word "rookie." And that said somewhere in one of the movies. I can't remember. But it was a tag, and it had a little loop. So I trimmed the loop off because I just wanted it as the rectangle. The green says "Explore," and then this aqua one says "Family" again. I've decided to put the little "Us" there in the green up on a foam dot to give it a little bit more dimension. This says "Discover," and then this navy one says "Going Places," and then there's a white with green words above that will say "Best Day Ever." Now, I'm feeling like it's kind of coming together, but I'm still missing something. It doesn't quite feel like finished yet. And I realized I hadn't used this Evilicious set of stickers. Now, this set of puffy stickers is from 2014. So I've had it a while, and I've still got so much left. So I'm pulling out some of the colors that work. That circle up above says "Play." And then I start pulling out some of the arrows, too. Alright, I just end up using one of the pattern puffy stickers. It's just got some stripes, but it incorporates the aqua. It's got gray, it's got the green. It has black, but I think it still fits. I'm putting in some arrows. Since I already have that arrow for "You've Got This" and "Have Fun," I wanted to add in some more. And there was that awkward gap above the word "live," between "live" and "happiness" at the bottom. So I have that arrow going in there just because I was like, I just need something. So I grabbed my Pink Fresh puffy stars from the Mix Volume 2. I love these stars and wish that I had even more of them. This will be one of the final things that I put on. And I end up doing it in 3 colors. I do the gray, the navy blue, and the aqua. And each one has one of each of those colors. Kind of hem and haw a little bit about that one. Going, where can I stick this? I wish I would have flipped the navy and the aqua star there, but that's okay. And now it is time for some Nuvo drops because I can't do a layout without them. So I start off with the Woodland Green drops, which is a beautiful match, obviously, for the green. And then I use the Calming Aqua. And my final color is one of my favorite colors, which is the Midnight Blue. I still wish they had one that was an even darker blue, but this, when it dries a lot darker than I think it looks in the bottle, to be completely honest with you. So every time I pull out the bottle, I'm like, that's too light, and then it dries, and I'm like, oh no, I think it might work. So I am putting on those last finishing touches. Still shots are coming up. I hope you guys have a lovely day and subscribe to my channel. Bye!